Okay, what we learned in the last video is that if we take a very large image and place it inside of a PowerPoint file, that it makes the overall size of the PowerPoint file just unreasonable. If you were trying to show this in a large setting and had a slow computer, it would take this PowerPoint show forever just to load up, and it would not operate very well at all. So what we want to do inside of our blank PowerPoint file is we want to place this image, but before we place that image inside of the file, we need to modify this file before we bring it into PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is take this PNG file, I'm going to right click, I'm going to open this just with Paint. Now there are other programs that you could use, some premium programs like Adobe Photoshop or some free programs like GIMP, but on a Windows computer I'm just going to use Paint. It comes free with Windows, and so we'll just use these features. They're good enough for an image such as this. So what I want to do is, first of all, just resize this image. It's just too big. I don't need it 1920 pixels. So I'm going to resize it, and to start with, we'll just leave the setting here for resize in the percentage, and then we'll change it from 100% to 50%. Make sure you leave the check mark here in this checkbox, because this means to maintain the aspect ratio. What that means is that when we resize this image, it won't become distorted, like trying to squeeze it in from the sides or squeeze it in from the top or stretch it out. It's not going to become distorted. So with it resized, let's come to File, and we'll do Save As, and we'll just come right back and save it as a PNG file in the same folder. But we'll just call this Biblical World 2 and save it like this as a PNG. So when I come back in to the program now, I can see that I have reduced the file from over 3 megabytes now to just over 1 megabyte. So 1 megabyte is a lot better than nearly 3.5 megabytes, but 1 megabyte is still too large for that file. So what I want to do is, I'm going to open this one more time, the original file. I'm going to open it with Paint. I'm going to go ahead and resize it just as I did before. 50% reduction. Make sure that's checked. Okay. Now what I want to do is, notice the type of file it is. This is not a photograph. It just colors. It's almost like clip art in a sense. That it really wouldn't hurt for me to lose a few pixels in this. So what I can do is come up and click File, Save As, and I'll just save it as a GIF image. So here's GIF, click that, and then I'm going to save this as GIF. I don't need to change the name because there is no other GIF in that folder. So I click Save. It warns me that the quality might be reduced if I do this, but that's okay for now. Click OK. I'm going to close this. Now come back in, and here is the GIF file. So notice that the size here is only 245 kilobytes. That is much, much better. It's certainly a heck of a lot better than 3.5 megabytes. It's a lot better too than just 1.1 megabytes. So we've got this file down a lot smaller, and the GIF file image is not going to leave us with anything that's unappealing. If I double click this to open it, and just open it in the Windows 10 viewer here, you can see what we're going to get. It's not quite as crisp and sharp, but if it works for you, if it's good enough, then we'll go with that. All right, so what we're going to do is now come back in to our blank file. Yeah, I need to click this one. So here is our blank file, PowerPoint. I'm going to now insert this picture, and I want to make sure I get the one that ends with a .gif. That's a GIF file. I'm going to insert it. Notice it comes in. It's a nice size. I can File and then Save As, and I'll call this blank file with GIF. Go back to our File Explorer, and here is our blank file with GIF file. And notice that the total file size now is only 283 kilobytes. This is much, much better